Hey YouTubers, what's going on today? Hey, I thought I'd do a couple little videos on, a way to save a little bit of money on some repairs and stuff like that. My other glasses on. Like, brake calipers. You can rebuild them and stuff, buy new ones. They got kits. Basically, it has new O-rings on the pistons in the brake caliper. Replace the O-rings or the rubber boots if they're bad. It just takes a little bit of cleaning the brake caliper up, cleaning up the inside of it up. So, and what we're going to work on today, power steering pump. You can buy the whole pump, housing and everything, but they sell kits like this one here, Duralast. I was looking for part number 7910. It's a power steering pump rebuild kit. It ain't gonna focus. 7910. And it's got all the O-rings with it, front seal. So I think a new power steering pump is, I don't know. I priced them before. What were they? I don't remember. But I know this kit was only like 16 bucks. I think the new power steering pump, the housing and everything was 50 or 60. So you can see where you can save some money. If you got a few, your basic common tools, I think is all you're going to really need. You can rebuild this, save you some money, gain some experience if you've never done it before. And get off a little bit cheaper. So, like I said, you can rebuild stuff. They get kits to rebuild stuff like the power steering pump, brake calipers, carburetors, obviously. I'll do a video on carburetors. I got off that 78. It's hiding over somewhere. It's a 600 Holley, 650 Holley. I think it's a 600. We'll rebuild that. The customer, which is my sister, I've said that before in other videos, is probably going to put something a little bigger on it. And maybe not. I'm thinking about going, well, I know I'm going with, I know I'm going with the 750 on my RS. I got the 600 on there now, and I like I said in videos before, I jetted it out, put bigger squirters in it, and it's still running lean. It's just not getting enough fuel. It runs good. I mean, idle's good. It'll fire all winter. It'll set all winter 2 pumps after turn the ignition on, and the fuel pump primes the system through the fuel pressure regulator and into the carburetor. A couple of pumps, it'll start up. So that carburetor is tuned good to that engine. It still runs just a little lean. So I'm going to get a 750 to try to correct that problem, and I think she's interested in buying that one. Her engine we built for her 78 is pretty close to what I got. She may have to go with the 752 once we get the engine installed, get everything running, get the car tuned, get that carburetor on that car, tune it to that car, and see what it does. Personally, I think it's still going to run lean. It's running lean on mine. I believe it's going to run lean on hers. My cam's a little bit bigger, not much, but we'll see. I think it's, like I said, I think it's still going to run lean. But so we're going to rebuild that 600 and have it around or sell it on Marketplace, whatever. I don't know. But today we're going to work on the power steering pump. Like I said, I got a kit, and we're going to disassemble this, clean the parts, assemble it back together, and just show you guys what there is to it. There's really not a lot to it. You will need a little, you will need some specialty tools if you don't have it, like a pulley puller, because these pulleys on these power steering pumps are pressed in. So I got a little tool that I'm going to use to get that pulley off. And I'll show you what it is. I think I bought that tool years ago for losing brake fluid or power steering fluid here. For, I don't know, I think it was under $20. I'm not sure. But we'll show you how to use that tool to get this off, and how to disassemble this and clean some parts, and we'll start the reassembly. I'm going to pause you for a minute. I need to drag my air hose over here. I need to get a couple more tools to disassemble this. I got a few here, but I think I'm missing a few. Get a bucket or a little pan or something to drain this fluid out of. And I'll get right back to you when I get everything I need, so I'm not running away from the camera all the time. And we'll get into rebuilding this power steering pump, and hopefully it'll help you guys out a little bit, save some money. If you guys are anything like me, and I'm sure there's a lot of gearheads out there, you love wrenching on your cars, man. I do. That's my favorite pastime, you know? So weekends after work, I like to come out here, and I got my RS pretty much done. There's still some things I'm going to do to the RS, like this winter. I'm going to shoot some videos on it, but I'm going to replace that whole rear end. Depending on the finances, I don't have deep pockets like some people. I'm just like you guys. I have to work, save money, put into it. But the rear end I want is, a 4.9-inch, total fabricated 4.9-inch rear end for these, F bodies, 82 through 92, or 84 through 92, whatever it is. I think it's 82 through 92. Anyway, and then the third member to go in it, it's going to cost me about $2,200-$2,300. But that will be assembled, pull the old one out, put the new one in, and fill it with gear oil and roll. I'm going to put some 373 gears in it. This right here is factory, which is the 292, 293, I can't remember what it was. I put new axle seals on this. As far as, axle seals. Still leaks. It leaks on the front seal of the yoke. So it doesn't leak bad. It's noticeable. You see, if I fill it up to a point to where the fluid, it'll leak. You can see little spots. So so this winter I'm going to do that. But what I was getting at is, if you guys are like me and you like saving money, to use towards something else on the project, this is a good way to do it. Save a little here, save a little there, and it'll go towards big projects like that rear end. So I'm going to pause you, get some tools, and I'll get right back at you. All right, I'm back. All right, let's get at this. First thing I'm going to do, let me readjust the camera so you can see everything I'm doing. Zooming in a little bit. That ought to be good. All right. First thing we need to do is take these lines off. And this little bracket right here, let me break it off. I got my impact wrench and air so we can get this stuff off. I still think I forgot a tool. I need my 9/16. Let me pause you again. All right, let's try this again. All right, let's take this bracket off, which is 14 millimeter. Get that off, this line off. Get a bucket to bearing is glued in. It should be pretty much empty, to be honest with you. You never know. There's a little bit dribbling in there, not enough to make a difference. Nothing the rag can't handle when we what is that? All right. You can see I got my apron on. Save your clothes. Save your clothes. I mean, I got shop clothes, but the more I can save them, the better off I am. Just turn mine off. All right. Now, I'm going to hose this off. You got to get this pulley off. And here's where your specialty tool comes in. And it is your pulley puller. I must have really tied that in to the last one. Well, hell. Okay. This right here just screws into the pump shaft. Then you got this little doohickey right here that goes down and hooks on this lip of your pulley. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass really to get it. All right, it's been a while since I used this. This is the one to install the pump back. I had to put the other one on there. The other one just pushes down on the, it just sets on the face of the shaft. And you put this ring around there and these clips on there, and it just kind of holds them two together. And then you take Mr. Impact, voila, pulley is off. And like I said, this right here just holds these two pieces together. And this right here just kind of sits on this pump. You just kind of have to, this is a problem that's why I paused you a minute ago. I had to go get another adjustable wrench, because when you pull these off, it just kind of, there, gets stuck together. But you just kind of screw this all the way down. Like so, you put it on the pump with the pulley on there. And the top part of it hooks on this lip right here, like so. And then the bottom part of it right here hooks on the lip. See the lip of the Hooks on there like that. And then you hit it with your impact, pull the pulley right off. Like so. All right. Now we're going to take these brackets out, or these bolts out, to get this bracket off. And your mounting bracket. Mounting bracket off. Now, this right here is actually the pump part, and you can see how it's just pressed in. This other part's just a housing. That's all it is. Now, in order to get this pump off, you got to take this back bolt off, for your pressure line, and then take this one off, and them two bolts right there, these two, is what just presses that into the housing. Now we're going to take these two off. I'll have to go to the parts cleaner. When I get all this disassembled, I'll go to the parts cleaner, clean all this up, polish it, and then get back at you. All right, let me get just when I think I have all my tools that I needed, I don't. So let's try to get off the adjustable wrench so I don't have to pause you guys again. That one broke loose. Back up this one. And what I'm going to do is probably just kind of screw this in there a few threads. I shouldn't have took it all the way out. Let's do this one. Yeah, I'm going to have to go get an impact for that. Let me pause you again. Okay. Now when you take this out, inside here is a spring and like a little pressure valve. So just keep that in mind. The spring goes in, or the pressure valve goes in right in first. And this is out, the spring goes in there just like this. So keep that in mind. And then what I'm going to do, just kind of screw that back in there a little bit. Take a handy dandy hammer. Try to hit both these bolts and get this pump to come out. It's my come in. Yeah, it's moving. just plan on fooling with this stuff for a while because it'll give you fits. There we go. There. Now, as you can see, it's pretty dirty, pretty grimy. This whole thing's just a mess. I'm gonna take it to the parts cleaner, clean it up, along with that pulley. Now here's the pump. Look, all the, this is the magnet catch material. I just scraped a bunch of it off. Look at that. It's pretty bad. So I just scraped off of it. So I'm gonna go and clean this up, take this O-ring off. You can see the O-ring right here. And I'm gonna go and clean all this up before I actually disassemble it, at least to get some of the gook off of it. And make it a little bit more easier to work with instead of all this crap on it. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Got it cleaned up a little bit. Looks a little better, huh? A little easier to work with. All right. Get the O-ring out of here. Old O-ring. Now you have a snap ring in here. And this is like spring loaded. So this is going to be a little tricky. One way you could do it is if you got a handy dandy C-clamp around. May have to get a bigger one. Let me see if this is. No, it ain't gonna be big enough. Let me go get a bigger one. All right. Yeah, let's do it this way. Get this opened up. Okay. And then the trick is getting this pain in the ass snap. All right, I had to pause you guys for a minute. I wrestled with this thing for about 15 minutes to get this O-ring out. So plan on it being a struggle. Now the best way that I found out to do it is get your big C-clamp, get it on the center of your thing to the center of your, push that piston in. And I had to modify a screwdriver, made it real thin and skinny, and took a hammer and just tick tick tapped it in there and popped it right out. So and there's the spring in the back. Now on the inside, in the shaft, you have a bunch of veins. Exactly what that is. Then you got another clip right here on this pump shaft. Needs to come off. Yeah. There we go. A little bitty clip. There's another bang, pins. Like so. And of course there's another. Okay, now after you get this whole thing disassembled, after you get the back off on the back, spring sets in there like so. And this right here is the whole pump assembly. Right here. These pins, you'll see some holes in there with them pins set. So, and this whole thing will just slide out as an assembly. And this is what you got. You got the two pins right here you can pull out. You got the bottom part of this pump. And then you got the center part of the pump that all the veins and stuff go to, and you got the bottom part of the pump. And then there's really no need to do it, but there's a little clip right there to take this off, take the veins off, clean it all off. You could really probably do that if you wanted to, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to get off and get back on. So you could take all the little veins out. You can see them in there. Take all the veins out and kind of clean this up as a whole unit. Clean your veins up separately, put them all back in there. And then clean all your parts up, your center part of the pump, which goes on here. And as this spins, these veins, you can see how it's oblong. It's a vein pump. If anybody's familiar with vein pumps, as the pulley spins, these veins slide out right here, and as it's spinning, they slide out and go in, and it pumps the fluid. So I pretty much got everything cleaned up. I got this cleaned up, the housing. You'll have the lighting's not super good here. But you'll have two O-rings in here with your kit you'll need to replace. You'll have a little O-ring seal on this one and one on this one. That one won't stay in, so I haven't put it in yet until I go to assemble it. And you'll have your main seal, shaft seal right here on the front to replace. So what we're going to do is go ahead and reassemble this. Like I said, once you get this back off, you can pretty much pull the whole pump assembly off, the shaft and everything straight out from the back. And then clean all your parts, reassemble it. Put all your new seals in here. There's two seals in here. Like I said, one there, one there. You'll have one right here when you go to reassemble it, your front seal, which I already did all that off camera. Got it all cleaned up and ready to go. So first, earlier I sat there and showed you how to disassemble, and this time we're gonna assemble it back. So I got all the parts clean. I paused the video, got all the parts clean, and we're gonna go ahead and put it back together. And it probably wasn't hurt. Use some sort. I use transmission assembly lube. Just kind of hit these seals a little bit. So just make sure the seals are lubed up when you assemble this, and it's not going to be too much of a problem. And maybe dip these dowels in there a little bit, just so they'll stay in the holes as you're assembling. Or you can use a Vaseline or something, petroleum jelly. See, get the pins back in, and then this right here, I'm just going to try to just, well, you know, I was going to assemble it as a whole, but since the pins are in there, put the shaft back in here. Let's put some lube on the shaft a little bit. Just make sure it shafts nice and lubed up. Stick it back down in there. Like so. Then you can put your center part in there. Just gonna make sure it's all clean. Everything's good on it. There's no problems. And you'll see 4 holes on there. And it's just the 2 smaller holes are for the dowels, the 2 bigger holes are for fluid flow. There, like so. And then I'm going to leave this facing up just to probably not really necessary, but very safe. Sorry, you're going to have fluid in this anyway when you fill it back up. Now on this, you can see how it's, the holes are. So the smaller part right here is where the dowels go, and the rest is for fluid flow. Trying to get this lined up here. Get it to go down straight. There we go. Like so. And you can see the little ring around there. That's where the spring kind of sits, as you can see. Like I said, I lubed this O-ring up pretty good, but I want to make sure some extra lube on there, so when we put this backing back on there, it'll seat down in there pretty good. Maybe put some on this even. And your snap ring, which anybody ever built a transmission, it's kind of like your servo. That's a 350 turbo. So what I'm going to do is pause you for a minute. We'll get a C-clamp. All right, back. So we're just going to put a C-clamp on here, push that back in, and put that snap ring in. And just a good pointer here is just kind of keep an eye on when you're disassembling this, how, because it's easy to forget, how everything goes back together. You know what I mean? Just to pay attention to, you know, you got the middle vein here. Pay attention to You know, if there's a certain direction it needs to go. Same with the back. The back, obviously, the back's really kind of self-explanatory, but you never know. Pay attention and just make sure you get everything back the way it should be. It'll save you a lot of heartaches in the future. All right. Little C clamp here, kind of push this in. It's a tough one. A few wax there. We're almost there. All right. I hate snap rings. I really do. They're just such a pain in the ass. There. And snap ring is in. So your pump's reassembled. Like I said, you have 2 O-rings in here you need to replace. I'll replace the one here on the outside that seals up against the fluid housing. And you got your shaft seal. So make sure you get all your seals back in there. Or you will be hating life. All right. Now, we're going to put the housing back on after I go clean it. I haven't cleaned the housing yet. It's pretty funky. So, with that being said, I will pause you again, and we're going to put the pump back in the housing, get these O-rings here on the back, get them in, O-ring right here for your, where'd it go? I just had it. Right here. Your line. And so I'm going to go clean up this fluid housing and we'll reassemble the rest of it. Okay, got the housing all cleaned up, and I'm not real happy with this housing. I'm going to reassemble it anyway for the videos, for the purpose of the video, and just to kind of give you an idea. But I'm probably going to go get a new housing because it's not going to take that much to pull that pump back out of it. But as you can see, it's all dented up right here, and you can see it on the inside. And this back here is dented in, which you can see on the inside. And I'm going to try to straighten it out a little bit. And as you can see, I did some brazing on that, so I must have leaked there. So this housing has a lot of problems. So I'm not going to use it, but I am going to put the new pump in there just to show you. The reassembly is basically pretty same old. So what you need to do is I'm going to add just a little assembly lube right here where these seals go in, just to make sure they stay in place. That one goes in there, that one goes in there. It's over here. Like so. And then you'll have one right here that goes in there. Again, just put a little lube here on them just to keep them in place like so. You got your 3 seals in there. And really what that does is just seal, because you're going to have one here, and one with your return flow. That's all they're really for, is to seal it. And again, you got your outside seal on here. So we're going to put some lube on that. Like so. And then really what you do, you just kind of set your pump in there and line it up. Before I do that, I want to get this set up. This is where your pressure line goes in, and it's got an O-ring right here on it that we want to replace. Put your new O-ring on. Yep. Get that similar lube all over my fingers so it's not being very cooperative. Stuff all my hands. There's 2 grooves there, and it's going to want to sit in the first one, so. You got to get it past that first groove into the second, like so. And then line your holes up. Those edges. Once you get your hose somewhat lined up, yes, it'll be a pain in the gut. There's no denying that. There. And then you can use your bolts here to finish lining up or pressing it in. as you tighten them. This bolt's all screwed up. That's why it ain't starting. I think I've got another one. But you get the point. Put this one in there, screw it down. You get your O-ring and stuff on it. The seal's on the back of that. Put your other bolt in here, which is this one. But you can see the threads on that screwed up, so I'm going to try to find another one of these. But anyway, that's how you rebuild the pump. See, the pump's pressed back into the housing, the seal, and you got 2 bolts on the back. Hold it in, this one, and then your pressure line. And once you tighten them up, it'll suck that in, and you got your O-rings behind this, and got an O-ring behind your return fluid line. O-ring behind that seals it up, and all is good. Pump's nice and tight, and